Hi, I'm McKenna-Doyle, Senior Vice President and CIO of the National Football League. I'm responsible for the league's technology strategy, which includes making sure we leverage the best and greatest in new technologies to evolve our game, engage our fans, and protect and develop our players. For those few of you who might not know about the NFL, we are America's largest sports organization with over 180 million fans worldwide. We're a big content creator, creating 15 of the top 20 broadcasts in 2017 alone. But I'm here today to talk to you about a technology that we're very excited about, Next-Gen Stats, also referred to as NGS, all powered by AWS. You may have seen some of our NGS content online or even in broadcast. It's our player and play tracking initiative that is aimed at evolving our basic stats that we've been collecting since the game began manually to an automated fashion of gathering thousands of data points and creating new stats and new insights. We do this in all 31 venues in the US, as well as the venues that we play in London and in Mexico. In 1 week of games, we create about 3 terabytes of data. And for you techies out there, that's probably not a lot. But for us, it's more than we've ever collected since we began to collect stats in 1920. We now collect in 1 week of games. Now let's take a closer look at how it works.
The NFL's Next-Gen Stats platform is changing the game, giving broadcasters access to real-time location data, speed, and acceleration for every player, every moment, and on every square inch of the field.
A twisting, diving catch, touchdown!
Sensors throughout the stadium track tags placed on players' shoulder pads, charting individual movements down to the inch.
The Next-Gen Stats have been credited with 968 yards of running tonight in total.
During the course of a game, broadcasters now have instant access to how much distance a player covers and the speed on a particular play.
A big man can run 19 miles an hour.
Along with receiver routes and acceleration.
You look at that speed.
In the NFL, the future is now.
Pretty cool stuff. Behind me, you'll see the framework of our NGS data. And I just spoke to you there in the video a little bit about what the capturing part is about. But in the center of this slide, that's the heart of the system and the heart of the program, all powered by AWS. We first started playing around with this a couple of years ago, and we chose AWS then because of its flexibility, ability to scale quickly, provide the right level of security, and also, as you've been seeing through this, the broadest offering of cloud services that our builders could build upon, giving us the ideal platform with which to grow. The next step is then to distribute this across to the end users, all real time and under a second. And we focused on 2 main audiences for distribution when we started to think about this. First of all, for media, used in-game, it's used in live games, and it provides nuggets of data for input, analysis, and showing on the screen. Post-game, for all those football experts that want to talk about what happened, how, and why, that's great content for them. And of course, digital and social to engage our fans, bringing them closer to our players, and building on our storytelling. Obviously, too, you can imagine what this could mean for scouting and coaching. We do have a tool within this program that uses Next-Gen Stats to record every play and automatically produces play diagrams, fitness summaries, relative speed and distance of our players, and also heat maps that show where players are on the field at any point in time. This allows for some really deep analysis even over and above what's done today. Our officials, as you can imagine, they're also instrumented. They cover more field service in a game than any player on the field. We also want to make sure they're in the right place. So using those heat maps and the analysis that we gather, we can do official analysis. And then finally, in venue, we do love the fact that the best place to see an NFL game is in the stadium. But we also know there are things you get to watch online and offline that you might not see in a stadium. So we're pumping this data also to the game presenters and making sure they're sharing it with fans in venue. As you can see, AWS is a big part of what we're doing here. And it's the critical foundational component of our next-gen stats. And it's been powering it since the beginning. So as such, I'm very happy to announce that our relationship with AWS is expanding. AWS is now an official technology partner of the NFL for next-gen stats. With AWS, we want to unlock the full potential of our next-gen stats through this broad cloud solution and something we've just been talking about, machine learning and artificial intelligence. As you can imagine, this program is about collecting massive amounts of data, complicated data sets, and then boiling it down for insights. So machine learning and AI are important to us for two main reasons, probably the same as many of you. First, efficiency. We've been gathering data manually. It takes hours at a time to do this post-game analysis and route analysis, you'll see. We'd like to boil that down to quickly and make it available right away. And again, to enhance the fan experience. Give the fan the ability to understand and comment on the game, maybe at the same level a coach or some of our talent on air is able to do. Why AWS for machine learning and AI? Well, as our experience has shown us so far, it has the broadest and deepest functionality. It's easy to use, and it's proven technology. That's why anyone would like to go with any technology provider. But we know we're just beginning to scratch the surface on this, and taking something so complicated and something, frankly, that we're all figuring out, it's great to have a partner like AWS to be our enabler for the future. So let me walk you through real quickly for some examples of how we'll be using or taking our next-gen stats to the next level. First of all, around formation recognition. There are 35 basic routes in the game of football across offense, defense, and special teams. But within those formations, there are thousands of combinations based on who's on the field, what the matchup is, and even factors like what time of day, or if it's an evening game, or where it is. So who knows the types of formations that could come about. We want to classify these and be able to recognize them and analyze them real time. Route recognition. There are about 9 basic routes, so if you coach football or play football, you probably know what those are. But within those 9, there's about 50 advanced routes. They can get complicated and hard to recognize and to draw out, but with machine learning, we're hoping to be able to recognize that and be able to record it. And another key component of machine learning is what are the key events that drive these things. And so by identifying these key events, recording them in the right time, we can create things like QB efficiency and QB quality around how long they hold the football before they throw it, how long it took for the wide receiver to catch the ball, what degree of separation they got against their defender, etc. So applying machine learning to our data will start with us, very much as you were just hearing. It's all about that learning model. First, we need to train the learning model, take all the data that you traditionally think about, the traditional stats, down, distance, etc., combine it with other data elements like field condition, weather, things that right now might not seem to the human mind even correlated. Feed that into Amazon SageMaker, let our model learn, and then begin to pump in additional information, have it trained, test and adjust, and ultimately the goal is to automatically generate all the formations, routes, and events. Here's a real-world example of what we want to build with AWS, which we think will change the way fans experience and understand football. Here's a play of Tyrod Taylor completing a pass to Andre Holmes for a first down. At first glance, you can see that it looks like a simple routine pass and catch from an untouched quarterback to a wide open receiver. But we're interested in understanding is why was that play successful and how can we quantify it, both for real-time discussion but post-game analysis as well. So by taking a look at some key events here, I'm just going to call some of them out. This is a little bit of a football lesson. We want to produce things like what the offensive formation is pre-snap. This is called a trips left, so you see the blue circles there. Those are the receivers. You can also see what the defending team did, so they matched all the receivers with what's called a 6 defensive back formation, and you can actually see that key matchup down below between Andre Holmes and Darryl Roberts. So this is an interesting way to think about, well, we know Roberts is going to cover Holmes, but what route ultimately was run? This shows the big major routes, the yellow one being the post route that was actually completed. And then the key identifiers, we take all of that plus say, okay, when was the ball snapped? When it was passed? When it was caught? And ultimately when the tackle was made. This can all be fed into, take all that data. So why would we want all that? One reason would be to get new insights and things like the pre-snap read. Here we're showing probabilities of success. If you throw to Andre Holmes here, you've got a 60% chance of a completion, and that's based on a bunch of factors that we fed in. So that's the most ideal target for that pass. Then you can take a look in mid-play, a snapshot of all the catch probabilities. This is important because when you're talking about your quarterback the next week and everyone's doing what is called Monday morning quarterbacking, but now you just won't have to wait till Monday morning, it can be right away, we can see how good the decision making was for a quarterback. So imagine a coach being able to tell him, look, you made a bad decision on that, or vice versa, the player can say to the coach, hey, this is why I took a sack, because these probabilities were so low. So together with AWS, we're very excited about the future. We want to take this technology journey together to have a lasting impact on America's game. We're developing and preserving it for generations to come. Thank you.